Hey everyone, and welcome! Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful scalping strategy. The whole idea is to use a team of indicators that work together to cut through all that market noise and give you clear, actionable signals. So, let's get right into it.
Okay, if you're a scalper, I bet you know this feeling all too well, right? You're staring at a 1-minute chart, you see what looks like the perfect setup, you jump in, and bam! The market just rips right back in the other direction. It is so frustrating, and it's honestly one of the biggest challenges in short-term trading.
And here's the thing. On these super low time frames, the real enemy isn't always just picking the wrong direction. It's the noise. You know those little tiny price wiggles that look like they're going somewhere, but nope, they're just random static. This entire strategy is specifically designed to help you ignore that noise.
So how do we fix this? Well, instead of just slapping a bunch of random indicators on a chart, I want you to think about this as assembling a highly disciplined trading team. Every single member has a very specific job, and they only make a move when they are all in agreement. So let's meet the team.
All right, first up on the team, your scouts. In this case, that's the 9 and the 21 exponential moving averages. Think of them like this. They're fast, they're right there on the front lines, and their whole job is to be the very first to spot a potential change in momentum. When these two cross, they're basically sending up a flare, signaling, hey, something might be happening over here.
But here's the deal. A signal from the scouts? It's not enough to go on. It's just a maybe. That signal has to be confirmed by the general. And for us, the general is the VWAP, the volume-weighted average price. The general is looking at the big picture for the entire day and gives that final go or no-go, making sure your trade is actually aligned with the dominant trend.
And look, no team is complete without a solid defense, right? That's where the smart shock absorber comes in, the ATR, or average true range. Now this isn't just some random static stop loss, it adapts to the market. When things are wild and choppy, it gives your trade more room to breathe. When the market is quiet, it tightens things up to protect your capital. It's your intelligent risk manager, plain and simple.
Okay, so you've met the team, you've got the scouts, the general, and your defense. Now let's get into the really simple rules of engagement. This is exactly how they decide when it's time to pull the trigger.
For a buy trade, it's a simple two-step check. That's it. First, the scouts have to give their signal. The fast 9 EMA has to cross above the slow 21 EMA. But, and this is key, you don't do anything yet. You wait for confirmation from the general. You ask, is the price currently trading above the VWAP? If the answer is yes, then and only then do you have a valid entry. And for a sell, you guessed it, it's the exact opposite, a perfect mirror image. First, the scouts signal a potential move down. The 9 EMA crosses below the 21 EMA. Then you look to the general for the final word. Is the price trading below the VWAP? If both of those things are true, you've got yourself a valid sell signal.
And this is what I love about this system. It's just so clean. Look at the logic here. For a buy, everything is above. The fast EMA is above the slow, and the price is above the VWAP. For a sell, everything is below. It's a perfect mirror. There's no guesswork. It's a simple yes or no decision.
You know, getting into a trade is only half the battle. Getting out is where the money is made or lost. So here's the exit plan. Your stop loss is set automatically by the ATR, your shock absorber. Your take profit is also based on that ATR, maybe 1.5 or 2 times its value. And finally, you have a dynamic exit. If the team gives a valid signal in the opposite direction, you get out. You're protected on all sides. Okay, let's have some real talk. No strategy works all the time. Period. It's not a magic bullet. The absolute key to long-term success is knowing the right environment to use it in. So let's talk about where this team shines, and, just as important, where it's probably best to just sit on your hands.
This right here is where you really see what this strategy is made of. When the market is trending, making a clean move up or down, this strategy is an absolute superstar. The VWAP keeps you on the right side of that big move. But in a choppy, sideways market, it's going to struggle. The price will just whip back and forth across the VWAP, your scouts will give a ton of false signals, and you can get chopped up with a bunch of frustrating little paper cuts. Knowing the difference is everything.
And this is probably the best way to think about it. Imagine the VWAP is the current of a river for that day. Your scouts might see a little fish jump, but you only cast your line downstream. You never ever fight the current. The VWAP is what tells you which way that water is flowing.
All right, so we've met the team, we've gone over the rules,
And we know when to deploy them. So what's the big idea here? What's the main takeaway you should walk away with? And how do you actually put this into practice?
If you remember one thing from this whole explainer, make it this. This sentence is the absolute heart of the strategy. See an EMA crossover all by itself? That's just noise most of the time. But an EMA crossover that also agrees with the day's dominant, volume-weighted trend, now that is a high probability signal. It's all about adding context to momentum.
So who's going to get the most out of this? Well, it's really for active day traders and scalpers who are just tired of the guesswork. If you want clear, black and white rules, if you're sick of the noise on those low time frame charts, and if you value a smart, adaptive way to manage risk, then this framework was literally built for you. It's about trading with discipline, not just gut feelings.
So, at the end of the day, this team-based approach is all about giving you a clear, disciplined framework for scalping. If you want to put it to the test yourself, all the details and resources you'll need are down in the description. And the final question you've got to ask yourself is this: is your goal to try and catch every single little move, or is it to only act when your entire team gives you the green light? The answer to that could really change how you trade.